Hi guys, welcome back to Origami Twist. My name's Jen and today's video is all about the basics. That's right, it is the craft supplies that I would immediately replace were all my craft supplies to disappear. Which is a horrible thought. I can't even imagine if that happened. But if they were, these are the ones that I would get. Now, if you are an avid crafter and you've got lots and lots of craft supplies and you love all different kinds of things, I would love to know what your staples are in the comments section below. Because if we've got some new crafters here, kind of trying to start their craft supply list, it would be really neat to have more than one person's opinion on what is absolutely necessary for crafting. So please leave your favorites in the comments section. I'd love to read them and I'd like to get some ideas too. Okay, so my personal top ones obviously begin with paper. A huge range of paper. Now, obviously you start small, you get a rainbow, you get a few pattern ones. Luckily there are a lot of craft supply stores in Australia, America, wherever you are, and that supply lots of different colors, and you can even order them online. There's so many different choices. I like to have some that are lightweight because I obviously like to do a lot of origami, and for most of my origami projects I actually use lightweight printer paper weight paper. And sometimes I'll use origami paper, but typically I just use the stuff that goes in the printer and I cut it down to size. I also like cardstock as well. That cardstock goes a long way. Most of my boxes the boxes that I design are made out of cardstock. It's fabulous. If I were to replace them, I'd get a little bit of each, and I would definitely get white, craft color, and black, as well as a variety of colors. The second thing I would replace while I'm at the craft store or ordering from a catalog is double-sided tape and liquid adhesive. So this one is just, let's see, what Express It brand. I bought this from a scrapbooking store here in Australia. You can buy them at Michael's. I have seen them there, and this double-sided tape is fantastic. Doesn't matter which brand, find one that that works for you. I do like the Express It brand, it's very good, but it's absolutely one of my top used craft supplies. I go through a roll of this. You have no idea how fast I use these up. They're great. My favorite liquid glue at the moment is the Tombow Multi-Mono Liquid Glue. What I like about it is that depending on how you apply it, it can be removable or it can be a permanent bond, and I like having the versatility there all in one product. So the Tombow makes a great multi-purpose glue, and of course Express It double-sided tape. The third thing I'd replace, and I would do this absolutely immediately, is my paper trimmer. This saves so much time, and it is it's amazing. Absolutely fantastic. This one's by Fiskars, and it all depends on your budget really for which trimmer you get. This particular one is not as accurate as I'd like it to be. It does the job, but I think when I go to replace it I'll get one that's a little bit more high-end, but at the moment this is what I can afford and I love it. Now, if you can't afford a paper trimmer, a ruler, a pair of scissors, and a number 2 pencil will allow you to do all of the things the paper trimmer will do. It just takes longer and it's a little bit more labor intensive and you have to do the measuring, but it'll still work. This will do everything that the paper trimmer will do. When you get your ruler, by the way, get one that has centimeters as well as inches, because especially on YouTube, sometimes you'll see tutorials that are in inches, sometimes they're in centimeters, depending on which country they're from. I try to do both with mine, but not everybody does that. So getting a ruler that has both, it only costs like 50 cents or $1. Highly, highly, highly recommend that. And most paper trimmers have both as well. Now, both of these are optional, but again, highly recommended. A good pen that you really like the way that it writes and that will do a good job of lasting and not fade over time, because you'll find that you'll want to write things on, especially on cards and that sort of thing, but a good pen goes a long way. A good ballpoint pen goes a long way. The other thing that's optional but really, really handy is a compass, and this just has a little pencil, and a little point, and you can make circles with it. I do have one tutorial on my channel already that for making a project with a compass. It's actually how to make a triangle with a compass, so definitely worth checking that out if you've got one. But I am planning on doing more in the future, so highly, highly recommend it. Again, it was only a couple of dollars, so definitely a compass is a good thing to have. Okay, so the next two items, and to round out my my basics, absolutely have to have them craft supply list, are completely subjective. So it depends on who you are, what you like, what your interests are. I'm going to show you what I like, but you may have something that would be totally different than my suggestion. But they follow the two basic things. It's about decoration of your papers beyond just folding them. And so for me, the first thing that I would pick immediately is 1 or 2 sets of stamps. I really like rubber stamps for hundreds of different reasons. They are so versatile. You can do so many different things with them, etc., etc. Especially if you get nice basic sets. Like this Close to My Heart set is circles. So you can take these decorative circles and make all kinds of designs on your paper. Use it as backgrounds, use it as a focus on a card. You've got hundreds and hundreds of choices. I also like things like the Stampin' Up. This one's called Bloom with Hope. I think it might be a retired set, unfortunately. Sorry about that, guys. But it's flowers that you can stamp out and then color in and embellish a little bit more. But you've got so many choices. Definitely recommend getting things like Happy Birthday, Merry Christmas, that sort of thing, because again, it can go so many different directions and allow you to do so many different things with your projects. Now keep in mind, if you're getting unmounted stamps like these, you'll also need a block to put the stamp onto in order to be able to stamp it. So a block and stamps, I would absolutely go out and get these right in. As soon as all my craft supplies disappeared, I would immediately get these. Of course, to go along with that, you also need some way to make the image appear on the paper, right? So I would immediately get a really good black ink. And many companies make them. 2 of my favorites are StazOn, which is a solvent ink and basically permanent. So you can do all kinds of coloring in and not have to worry about your color blending in with the edge of the stamp. I really like StazOn for a lot of different purposes. And you can stamp on things that aren't just paper as well. It's a lot of choices with that. If you want to know a bit more about it, let me know in the comments below. I can make a video for that. I also really like the Memento Tuxedo Black Fade Resistant Dye Ink. And part of the reason for that is fade resistant. It's not going anywhere once you stamp it there. Now there are pluses and minuses for dye ink versus pigment ink versus solvent ink. And you know, there's lots of different things. Do a bit of Googling before you pick which one you want, because how you color them and what you do with them is going to affect which black ink you pick. But I definitely recommend getting a black ink to start with, because it's a good basic place to start. So now my favorite part besides the paper trimmer. How are you going to embellish your project? You've put your stamp down, you've done your folding, or you're ready to do your folding. You want to color it in first before you fold. But you're ready to put it all together. Now you need some embellishment. And there are so many different kinds of embellishments out there. There are stickers and rhinestones and all sorts of things that you can get nowadays. Glitter, all kinds of things in all different colors. For me, I would immediately get some sort of material to color in my project. Before I get the glitter and before I get the rhinestones and all of that, because the versatility, really, you can go so far with the different things. Now, if I were going to replace anything, my first choice would be watercolor pencils at the moment. And part of that is because you have such a wide variety of things you can do with it. So I have the Prismacolor Premier Watercolor 24 pack. It has all kinds of different colors in it. These are really, really beautiful pencils, and they go a long way. And then of course I also have brushes to go with that. If you're going to do watercolor, you need something to apply the water with and the pigment to your paper. Now, you don't have to go this expensive. These are ridiculously expensive. And if all of my stuff disappeared, I would probably go and get something a little bit less expensive. But you do want to make sure the pencils are water soluble, because otherwise you won't be able to apply water to them and do watercolor with them. So you're looking for watercolor, water soluble pencils if you want to go this route. Okay, so if I didn't get watercolor pencils, I would immediately go to the stamp marker and stamp pad section for color. And you can actually buy, a lot of stamp pads will come with little mini ones, so you can buy like Versamark pigment ones, come in these little cubes, so that you can get lots of different colors for a lot less money. So that's definitely one way to go if you're on a budget. Now, things like the classic Stampin pads from Stampin' Up! And your exclusive inks from Close to My Heart are water-soluble dye-based, which means you got it. Water-soluble means you can take a brush with a little bit of water on your brush and use it like watercolor. And then you could use sponges or all kinds of things to apply color a little bit more opaquely. You've got lots and lots of choices with water-soluble dye inks. Now, of course, there are also other pigment ink pads and chalk ink and all kinds of things. And the markers can also be used to stamp with and used for, again, watercolor, all kinds of stuff, or just to color in the picture. So stamp pads and stamp markers are very versatile, especially if you go the stamp route for decoration. And this is absolutely a direction I would go. As soon as I got my watercolor pencils, then I'd get these. Now, of course, you've now funded all of these things. You've got a bit of paper, you've got your trimmers, you've got all of your things, and now you want to go a little bit further. That's when you bring in the rhinestones and the stickers and the die cuts and the Sizzix machine and all those cool things, which of course I've collected over the years. I've got all of that stuff. But definitely you can then, the sky's the limit as far as options, and the world is your oyster once you've got the basics. So I've put a list of all those materials in the description box below, and as I said, if you are an avid crafter and you have a staple that you would get before any of the things I've said or along with any of the things I've said, please let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear what's your favorite, and please subscribe if you haven't already, and like the video if you enjoy videos like this. I hope you guys have a great weekend and happy crafting. Talk to you on Monday. Bye guys.